How was last night, Keels?
Yeah, quiet night.
Yeah, go for a bite tea?
Yeah, went for a little bit of steak. Hang on, DJ. Hang on, found one.
What?
Found one.
Yeah?
This just wins.
Shh. Keep it for the show.
Let's get it started then. Welcome to Good Morning Cheltenham.
Watch out, Danny Dyer. A serious acting display this morning by our very own Keels. Yes, welcome along to Good Morning Cheltenham to preview day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival. And joining me this morning is Danny Dyer himself, Mr. Paul Kealy, yeah?
I don't think I'll be preparing an Oscars speech if I had to go.
Yeah, and Paul Kealy, you are in cracking form. Great first day, brilliant second day. You must be absolutely brimming with confidence coming in.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope it continues. I mean, the one thing is that it never does it? Like, you know what I mean? Did anybody have 4 good days at Cheltenham? Like, you know, let's hope so. I mean, I spoke to a couple of people in the press room yesterday and they were really down, like everything's gone wrong. They've hit the bar, and I said, don't worry. I said, it will turn, it always does. And the truth is, if you're in bad form, it turns, but if you're in good form, it turns as well. So I'm not going to get too bullish, but I am pretty confident about a couple again today. So let's hope it keeps going.
And anybody who watched yesterday's show will know that Johnny Dineen made the comment that Ballyburn was the most insane price in the history of racing. And not for the first time, Johnny, you were proved right. Did you make it pay?
On the day, I didn't do any good. Would you believe that? And I did everything right early on. But I made a mess of it at the finish. Yeah, I did.
You looked disgusted with yourself.
I was. I played like Ronaldo for the first 88 minutes, but the last 2, disgraced myself. No, yeah, I did again. And I wasn't even going to get involved in that bumper. And Jesus just came up, Bambino fever. You could lay it 4-1. Jeez, I said, I can't win surely, like Bambino fever, a mare in 20-something runners. So I gave everything back in the one go. It was stupid, but these things happen to me regular. But so, look, today's a different day, you know.
And Johnny, I have to say, I came in here this morning, I was looking forward to seeing you. I said you tipped Marine Nationale, you weren't keen on Final Demand, you fancied the new line. I said, Johnny is going to have a Beano.
Yeah, no, I had no bet in the first race. I did back Marine Nationale, and I did lay Ballyburn, but I did glue it all in the last.
Right, okay. That's punting, Johnny.
That's me, yeah. I do that on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And welcome to the show. For the very first time, we are taking his Good Morning Cheltenham virginity. It is Daryl Jacob.
Good morning, man. How are we?
Good, how are you?
Very good, yeah. Bit of a stressful journey on the way up.
I was going to say, you were like Paul Carberry on Belvano. 2 minutes before the show, no sign of Daryl Jacob. Next time he comes swooping in from the clouds. How are you?
Late. Nice to come late. Produce them late. It's always the best way.
Yeah. How's your week been?
Been very good, yeah. Been very busy, and look, it's been a great week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's talk about drama to the highest.
Yeah.
That's what racing. That's what we love about it.
Absolutely, the uncertainty of it. And for Kevin O'Ryan, unfortunately, your big one for the week, Brighter Days Ahead, didn't do the business. It was painful viewing.
It was the most bizarre race I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Brighter Days Ahead, she was never gone. You knew after jumping the hurdle she was beat. I didn't think she was moving great. She landed upside King of Kingsfield at the second. Usually she'd lock on. She didn't lock on, as we know. Halfway down the back, they steadied it up. And I'd imagine Jack was saying to Danny Gilligan, slow down, don't go any faster, because I'm going as quick as I can.
Yeah.
Constitution Hill, State Man. I'm standing there at the back of the last, 5 minutes after the race, looking up at the screen looking at the back of the last, what the hell are we just at the watching there?
Yeah.
But Daryl says that's racing, Golden Ace, fair play to Ian Gosden and Jeremy Scott. They rolled the dice, and by God, they'd someday. And a great result for racing too, because small man, small owner, small trainer. She was relatively cheaply bought, 12 grand. She wins a big pot, gives everyone hope.
You're Jack Kennedy's agent. He was stood down for the second half of yesterday's card. Can we expect to see Jack Kennedy on Tihupu today?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Obviously, he'll have to pass the doctor when he goes racing. Spoke to him yesterday evening, spoke to him last night, and he was just very sore. And fingers crossed we'll see him today. But, as I say, he'll have to pass the doctor at the race. Sam Ewing, we won't be seeing him for a little while.
Okay, unfortunately. Okay, best wishes to you, Sam, and hopefully we will see you, Jack, here. So it's coming up on today's show, written in the stars. What a day it was yesterday at Cheltenham. Emotionally charged as Marine Nationale and Jazzy Matty did the business. Of course, the two horses that the great Michael O'Sullivan rode to victory 2 years ago at the Cheltenham Festival. Fact to File takes off. We'll have our Ryanair Chase preview. Is he the banker of the day? I know he is for one of our panellists. Morning Tea Hoopu. Stayers Hurdle preview. Is he going to do it again? Is it going to be back-to-back wins for Tiupu? And of course, we'll have our charity bets, which are going astonishingly well, because yesterday Mr. Paul Kealy had his 50 quid for charity on Jimmy Desoy at 16-1. Very well done, Paul Kealy. Kevin, yesterday it was very emotional. Obviously, Marine Nationale. I was at Michael's funeral, and his father William spoke about Michael's love for Marine Nationale. And sometimes some things are just meant to be, aren't they?
Yes, unfortunately what happened is an absolute tragedy, as no words can explain. But Marine Nationale, he was obviously very good yesterday. My first impressions were I thought he was actually starting to get the upper hand of Quilixius. Watched it back again then. Not 100% sure, not fully convinced. Balance of probability, I'd say the one. I'll tell you what he did do yesterday though. He was strong at the line. You know, as we've seen in the past, he's not the strongest of finishers, but he did hit the line well. And, you know, fair play, it was brilliant. And, you know, fair play to Barry Connell's team at home. And Garrett Cotter, Roger Loughran, they're massive parts of that team, and you never hear too much about them. But by God, Barry trains a small team of horses. He's got a great bunch of lads there. Paul Finn, another lad who was in Desi Hughes, is for donkey's years as well. Butch, as we know, yeah. Butch will tell you he's training the horse. He trained Hardy Eustace and all that as well. But they're great lads, they're great horse people.
Colonel Braxton, he was involved with all of them.
Oh, he trained the whole lot of them. But Garrett Cotter, Roger Loughran, they rarely get a mention. They're a big part of the Barry Connell team, and some great results, and that was obviously very emotional.
Johnny, what the hell happened Ballyburn?
Look, I think they took him on anyway, got him out of his comfort zone. He was never going well. Even before he made a mistake, you wouldn't like to be on him anyway. And look, he's a horse that he jumps slow at a few fences too, and you don't get away with that in these kind of races. He ultimately didn't run too bad considering all that went wrong with him. But I'd be inclined to oppose him the next time he ran over fences too. And I see where Willie Mullen said we might leave him rock and roll, and the next day in punches on leave him off in front. But that's all very fine if you have every horse in the race and they're all trying to leave, and they leave him off. But I think in a deep race where every horse is not trained by Willie Mullins, they won't give him much rope ever again. And I'd say there's plenty of frailties. You could see him. Yeah, you wouldn't be shocked if he came back over hurdles even.
Yeah, and
this is what I was going to say. You talked about him being an insane price for the Brown Advisory yesterday. I think he's an insane price at 10-1 for the Stayers Hurdle. I mean, I know it's a year hence, but if he goes back over hurdles, he'll be one of the best horses ever to do so, won't he? Like, you know what I mean? He was a superstar over hurdles last year. He's not a chaser. He doesn't like jumping fences, I don't think. He's definitely not a chaser.
I disagree. Me and Tom Stanley had this argument yesterday on Racing TV. I generally do believe this is a proper staying chaser. Things didn't go right. We were down at the start yesterday, and before they've let him roll from, in novices, they've let him roll away. And I think the horse is much more confident letting him roll, letting him attack his fences and go down and wing his fences. Yesterday, they lined him up right out the back, and he's pulled his way down to the first. His head is literally, his nose is that far off the floor, going down to the first. And I think he'd be about, I think tactics potentially.
But you said he's better off letting him wing. Has he ever winged fences? Because he didn't jump well at Kempton. No. He jumped okay. He was popping a little bit at Leopardstown. Can he actually wing fences?
I think
of course he can. Paul Townend at the third last at Leopardstown, the one big jump he asked him, the horse came from him, and he gave him loads. He came with buckets from him. Yeah, of course he can jump.
But that's one fence. I mean, lots of horses that don't like fences, they can put it in once, but he can't put it in a whole race.
But overstaying distance, you'll agree with me, overstaying distances, you don't want horses going down being flamboyant, being exuberant.
He's calling for backup, Kev.
I'm dead. Look, I've ridden enough horses in the past, and
I was the first to flat jockey. My bottle was rotten.
As staying chasers go, the best for a jockey is when a horse just goes down and goes in pops, saving loads of energy, getting the air back into his lungs. You don't need these big flamboyant chasers. I'm still a massive believer, and I'm still a massive believer in this horse. I generally do believe he will hit the heights. I think maybe potentially if he could run.
Well, it's like me with brighter days ahead. I'm still a believer.
Is that why we're sitting on this couch against them? Is it?
We have two very different couches here in the Good Morning studio this morning. Final word on yesterday, Keels. The new line. Can he win a champion hurdle?
I don't know. I mean, it's 2 mile 5, isn't it? There's been plenty of horses that have done that though, and he did tank his way through the race, didn't he? You know what I mean? And I think that was a better race than the Supreme myself. I think they're 3 very, very good horses. I mean, okay, Final Demand probably, given that ground, should have been in the Albert Bartlett, because he is going to be a proper staying chaser, isn't he? Yeah, he did everything right, the new line, didn't he? He travelled, he tanked through it, he found plenty. Yeah, I don't see why not. It's worth a try. And if it doesn't work...
He jumped the last like a champion hurdle horse.
He was low, wasn't he?
Very low and fast, very low and fast.
He's very good. He's very good. I was mad fancying him yesterday. I just thought Final Demand. He's like, you'll see him in the Brown Advisory next year. As I was saying, on the run up to Cheltenham, doing previews and that, I could see Dan Skelton's horse back in a champion hurdle next season, and Hardy Eustace, Brave Inca, Great Istabrack, Faheen. They all won that race before they went back to champion hurdles.
Brave Inca didn't run in that race.
But he looked in the pre-parade ring yesterday.
Supreme.
He looked in the parade ring yesterday, in the pre-parade ring yesterday. He literally looked like as if he still had a summer coat from last year. He was absolutely gleaming. He looked like, out of all the horses in the race, he by far, he was the standout looking horse.
We will come on to our preview today, Kevin. It's been a tough week for Gordon Elliott. Like, the Yellow Clay ran a cracker, and a lot of his horses have ran well. Last year, the Thursday really changed things around. He ended up having a double on the Friday. The second half of the week has been kinder to him. Do you think it's going to turn for Gordon?
I hope so.
Or you'll be out of pocket.
I hope so. Look, it's obviously very frustrating, and he's not in his own, you know. There's a lot of lads...
Nicky Henderson, of course.
Yeah, exactly. But just to get that one winner, because the whole year revolves around Cheltenham. A lot of horses have run well. Romeo Coolio, Stellar Story, Brighter Days Ahead. Or not Brighter Days. Better Days Ahead. There will be better days ahead for Brighter Days Ahead. But a lot of them have run well. But it's frustrating because every trainer wants to get a winner at the festival. Let's hope it happens today.
Absolutely. Let's kick on with our Thursday preview. And before we do, Keels was on about people, you know, wanting to get a winner, wanting to get off the mark in the press room, and people wanting to get some money. Well, how about some free bets? Here you go.
Do you want over £2,000 in Cheltenham free bets? Visit racingpost.com/free bets, the ultimate hub for betting offers. Racing Post. Stay ahead of the field.
So let's kick off with the opener on Thursday. It is the 120. It is the Ryanair Mares Novices Hurdle, and 6.5 for Gavin Cromwell and Keith Donoghue, of course, off the mark yesterday with Stumpdown in the cross-country chase. Is 5-2, 7-2 Galileo Dame. She goes here rather than the Triumph Hurdle. Caroline Bamboo is 13-2. Aurora Vega, the choice of Paul Townend. He's not on Maureen. He is on Aurora Vega at 7-1. Jubilee Alpha is 8-1. 9-1 now, Maureen. She was 5-2 last week. Now she's out to 9-1. Diva Luna is 11-1. And it's 16-1 Bluey. From 50-1 into 16-1 Bluey for Emma Lavelle. Johnny Dineen, kick us off with a winner on Thursday.
Yeah, look, I think this is an open race. I do. I genuinely think they're betting tight enough. They're 5-2, 7-2. Galileo Dame is the one that's contracted. It's probably displaced Maureen in the prices. Maureen has gone to the price Galileo Dame was, and vice versa. I think there's 8 or 9 horses here have a chance. I could see, well, obviously the front two, they have their chances. I wouldn't personally fancy him. Caroline Bamboo, Aurora Vega, Jubilee Alfred. I don't fancy Maureen at all. Diva Luna, and there's other ones that maybe outside of that could have little squeaks as well. I do think it's an open race. I think 6.5 is a horrendous price at 5-2. And I think Galileo Dame is a bad price as well now at 7-2. I mean, if I was a bookie, I think I'd be inclined to make a book in this race. And the one I was going to go with is Diva Luna. She hasn't really performed over hurdles yet, but she still did win the entry bumper and won it well. And I have a feeling she is a good jumper over hurdle, really good jumper, and this better ground will suit her. I have a feeling, I heard Brent Paulin say he didn't have it right all year. He kind of had a rushed start to the season, all this kind of stuff. And she got beat by Metakina in Lingfield at 2-1, and then she won a race over 2.5 mile at Cheltenham. She wasn't that impressive doing it at the same time, and then she managed to get beat at 2-9 in Sandown on bad ground. But I do think she's better than what she's shown, and that's the one I'd be going for. I think I'd be strongly against 6.5 at 5.
Why are you so against 6.5?
I just think it won one race over hurdles, beating Qualamita, who you'd beat with your hat. She's no good, Qualamita. You know, I know she won easy, but it's easy to beat Qualamita, easy. She was a stayer in the flat, 2.25 mile horse. I know this you need probably to stay here, but I think she's a horrific price at 5-2. To be honest, I wouldn't back her anyway. No, in a million years. Now I did think Maureen was a bad price too, but she's gone out to the price she probably should be. But look, even Galileo Dame is well found in the market now at 70. I think the bookies have a chance in this race. I'm not saying 6.5 can't win. Of course they can win, but it's about half the price it should be.
Okay, Daryl, what do you like in the opener?
I'm going to go for. I'm actually going to go against you. I actually really like the 6.5 because I think the way this race is going to be pan out, I think you're going to need quality in this race. I know she lacks the inexperienced, but I thought she jumped very well around Ferriers. There is so much pace on in this race. A lot of these horses, a lot of these mares are actually going to cut their throat. With Bluey, you've got Dunaliva, you've got so much pace. The pace in this is going to be frenetic. And I just think the way Keith rides the mare and the way he'll ride it with loads of confidence, and what he will do is he will just ride a nice patient race and let them get for the front, let them cut their throats, and then he can hopefully plot his way through. Keith Donoghue's a master around here at doing that. And I just think the shape of the race, this is why I like her, because she's got the class, and I just think the race could be run to suit her.
But has she got the class? She's
rated 94 in the flat.
Yeah,
I'll take that all day long.
But some of these would be rated 94 in the flat too. If they ran on the flat, in my opinion, they would. Like Diva Luna would be 94 in the flat if she was campaigned that way. I think she's virtually nothing. And she's won one maiden hurl in a 3-horse race in Ferriers. That's what she's won, and she's 5-2 in this race. I wouldn't have her anyway.
Right, we have two contrasting arguments for 6.5. Keels, are you on one side or the other?
I did like the way she jumped. I think she's a major player. But Galileo Dame was 96 on the flat and is getting £10. And I think it's the right decision to come here rather than the Triumph Hurdle, because obviously the front two in the Triumph Hurdle could be very good. Well, one already is, we've seen that, and the other one's the big talking horse for Nicky Henderson. So I think it's the right decision to come here. She'd be, no 4-year-olds won this yet, but she's the first one to go there with an actual chance. All the others are rags. And I think she's going to love this track as well. She was obviously finished strongly at Dublin after making a little bit of a mistake at the last. And yeah, she's got some good flat form. She was second to Hamish in a big field race at the Curragh last year. And Hamish is a proper top quality stayer, isn't he? So yeah, I can see the argument that she is now short enough, but she's the one I've been keen on for a while, and I think she's going to go close.
That's Galileo Dame at 7-2 with Paddy Power for Paul Kealy. And Kevin, are you staying loyal to your fellow jockey on the couch? Are you with 6.5?
I am. I'm very worried about Galileo Dame because flat had happened to me. Like as Johnny said, she's rated 96 in the flat. She's a good filly, as Paul has alluded to there. And, that was some run at Leopardstown, 6.5. Take out the last hurdle, the first and second down the back as well. She was lucky to stand up, especially the first down the back, I think it was at Leopardstown. She's only beaten, a half a length by Hello Neighbour on that occasion. Now, Hello Neighbour, he probably pulls himself up, probably parks a little bit when he hits the front, but she's a good filly. She's getting all the allowances. Interesting stat, because I was just going to ask you how many 4-year-olds have actually run in this race. There's probably not been a whole pile.
Yeah, it's only been about 10 or so, but a lot of them are in absolute rank outsiders as well. I think the shortest price is about 20, so she's the only one with a pop.
Yeah, but I've been strong in 6.5 for a long time, and I'm just a big fan of her on the flat. Obviously, she won a bumper very impressively at Punchestown, and won the handicap at Newmarket, not beating Farnan Irish Cesar, which as well, I think she's plenty of class, and I don't think she lacks gears, because when she won a 1.5 mile maiden in Cork, she beat Familiar Dreams, didn't come up to scratch that day, but she doesn't have travel. And that day she won the bumper of Punchestown. She turned into the straight and gone quick in the way. I said to Gavin Cromwell that day, I said, Gary Carroll will be winning on her in the flat now, a little flat maiden, and sure enough he did. But she's a smart filly, but I am worried about Galileo Dame. I was tipping her up as an each way play at 16-18s for the Triumph Hurdle. I can see why Joseph has come here, because she's a very good filly is getting all the allowances.
Lovely, a nice heated debate to start the day. It's selection time for the Ryanair Mares Novice Hurdle, and 6.5 is the selection of Mr. Kevin Ryan and Daryl Jacob. Johnny is with Diva Luna, Keels is with Galileo Dame, as am I, and it's great to see over 4,000 people watching the show at the moment. If you're liking it, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and give us a like, and it's great to see the light shining on Keels and Johnny as well. It's a good sign for you, lads. The sun is shining on you for now.
All right.
It's 1-0 to this couch so far. 1-0. You're 1-0 up. Keep it going.
They'll have me and Kevin by the end of the show. Don't you worry about that.
I'm still in shock of brighter days ahead. You see.
You'll get over it, Kev. Don't worry. Moving on to the 2 o'clock. It is the Jack Richards Novice Handicap Chase, a new race this year for the 2025 Cheltenham Festival. Firefox is 4-1. Firefox could be a few bob for you, Kevin, with Jack riding. Nürburgring, your Galway Hurdle winner, is 5-1. Springwell Bay, 6 entries at the festival. This is the one that Springwell Bay has taken up. Asian Master for Tom Costello is 6-1 as well. Then you're into Caldwell Potter at 9s, along with Pickrock, Answer the Cave 11s, and so is Lord of Thunder, the choice of Tom Siegel, price-wise in the Racing Post. This is a corking race, Paul Kealy.
Brilliant race, yeah. Really, really competitive. It's funny, look at the amount of Irish horses that are up there in the betting. When this race in its last guise, they didn't have a great record in it. 13 of the 16 runners were won by British trained horses. But it looks like there's a few been readied for it, shall we say. But I was looking at this race. The one I was most interested in was Asian Master, but I have no idea what weight Tom Costello.
Okay, do we know? Jockey Couch, do we know?
What weight Tom Costello?
Tom Costello, 11-2, claiming 7. Who's good at maths?
10-9.
10-9.
I knew you'd answer that first.
He's got to do 10-9.
Can he do 10-9? He's 6'4".
He hasn't done less than 11.5 in the last 12 months.
Probably hasn't had to, though.
Yeah, probably hasn't has to. Yeah, exactly. So,
what do you think? What's the chances?
Me personally, looking at him and right now, that'd be tight. That'd be tight.
What he has to do 10 stone 9. That wasn't 10 stone 9.
Are you allowed to put up much overweight?
3 is the maximum you can do.
So you can do 10-12, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you do 10-12, Johnny?
I wouldn't anymore, no.
No. Well, after that fight to Guinness he had yesterday,
no, I don't even know. But any young fella 6'4" will struggle to do 10 stone 12. I don't know. But I suppose you could starve yourself for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But you'd surely be, you've ridden hard, you'd surely be weak as a sausage, wouldn't you? If you have to...
Weak as a sausage. That's some analogy for a fella that can't eat for 3 days.
How about those big jumbo sausages? They look good and strong.
With the tomato sauce in them, yeah. Look, I don't know. It can't be ideal, can it? Like, I don't know.
Do you fancy him? You fancy him?
Well, I'd fancy him. What if he can't do it and then they have to sling somebody else on? Then you're very interested, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and suddenly a pro gets on. I mean, you know, Willie Mullins has not won a single handicap chase at a festival. And it's going to change one day. Most of them are... They're not campaigned with handicaps in mind throughout the season, but he's only had to run this one twice over fences because he ran in a hunter chase before he went novice hurdling. And he's had those 2 runs, 7 length third to Madgeburg, 7 length roughly third to Mr. Giff. And his everything about his pedigree says he wants 2.5 miles. So I'm very interested in him, but I just didn't know, so I left him alone. And I just thought this race is probably a fair bit deeper than it looks on, there. So I've backed a couple of complete outsiders. I've backed the 2 Noel Feely Syndicate horses, Insurrection and Ryan's Rocket. Now, Insurrection beating odds on shot by 16 lengths at Musselburgh last time and absolutely bolted up. It's a very rare occasion you will be able to back a Paul Nicholls trained horse coming off a monster career best at 25-33-1. And I just thought he was interested on that basis alone. And Ryan's Rocket, I really fancied him for that novice handicap at the trials meeting, but the ground went too soft and he travelled beautifully into it and didn't get home. The drier it gets, the better it will be. He's definitely a spring ground horse. And yes, he's £5 out the handicap. I know he's got a big arse, but I'm going for a couple of Hail Marys in this one at big price.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 big whoppers from Paul Kealy there. Insurrection and Ryan's Rocket. Do you like the look of this race, Johnny?
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a really good race, yeah. Tell me this. You know when you say the young lad mightn't be able to ride it, and he said, can he be replaced does he have to be replaced with a £7 claimer?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
you're joking.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's the rule in Ireland.
It's the same in England, is it? Because in Ireland you have to go like for like.
Yeah.
Bar, you'll get away with it maybe with a £3 claimer. you might get away with it with a professional, but they will try and go like for like, and it makes total sense. In all
of
fairness,
course,
you're going to replace a 7 with a 7 because you can't replace a 7 with Paul Townend, for argument's sake, or whatever. But here, look, he must be very confident he's going to do it because he's known what weight this horse is going to have for a while.
Exactly.
So, and you know, fair play to him. It's their family horse. They've had great days, and you know.
And he's an absolute smashing chap as well. I've interviewed him a few times. He's a hero, isn't he? He's a great guy.
He's one of the tallest guys I've ever. I'm no giant now, as you know, but first
him and Jack Andrews, wasn't it? Jack Andrews over here. So he's 6 foot, whatever he is,
I interviewed Tom Costello one day in Thurles. I was standing here like this, standing up my toes. I was walking along like this for half an hour afterwards. But
step ladder to get up to him.
But he's a lovely lad, and obviously he's very, very dedicated to be able to keep, for the size of him. Like, he's very tall, but he's actually quite narrow.
Yeah, he's like myself.
So, a bit like ourselves, DJ. But you know, best of luck to him today. It's an unbelievable experience that he's going to have, and wish him all the best.
You like something at a bigger price here?
No, I think Pickrock has a good chance in a tough race. Like, I mean, I can't get over the prices of some of these. Like, Firefox gone short, isn't it, 4-1? Yeah. I might be wrong, but I'd be amazed if Nürburgring wins here. I'd fancy him not even to go around. He's belting fences now. Like, I can't see how he's going to be any better over here. Like, he's a flatbred horse as well on top of that. He doesn't have a profile. I know he might be winning and he might be kept for this race and all, but geez, he was belting races and belting fences in Leopardstown, and he was only having a look even. You know what I mean? So like in a big race, like when he's actually
in the heat of battle,
I can't see him going around blemish free. Springwell Bay has a chance, like Asian Master probably has some sort of a chance. I don't really.
Well, what about the next one on the list? What about the next one on the list?
I think the ground didn't really come right for him, did it really? It probably didn't. Look, I think Pickrock has a good each way chance. Like, he's a nice racing weight. I think he's 137, and he couldn't win a bumper, and it took him a while to win over hurdles, and it's taken a while to get him his act to get over fences. But he would have won in Carlisle first pop, but he fell in slither and landing. But I do think he's coming right. I like Ben Pauling as a trainer. I went with him in the first race, and I'm going to go with him again here.
Okay, Pickrock at 11-1 for Johnny Dineen.
It's only 9-1, is he?
9-1, yeah. Sorry, apologies. You picked me up quick there, didn't you?
Well, I didn't think it was 11-1.
Yeah, 9-1 Pickrock. Sorry about that, Johnny. Jeez, you don't mess with Johnny Dineen. Bloody hell. Kevin, is Firefox a ridiculous price now at 4-1?
Well, he probably is too short. I've gone for him. I didn't realise.
He looked terrific the other morning. My God, his coat was unbelievable. I thought he looked really well.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said he looked terrific. Yeah.
No, terrific.
Oh, sorry, terrific. Right.
Terrific, yeah. I thought he looked terrific.
I was thinking, geez, DJ must be looking at the different Firefox and I was looking at when I thought you said horrific. Sorry, I didn't realise he was going to be this short. I've gone for him because I think he's crying out to step back up to this trip. I thought he was a shade unlucky maybe not to win the Drinmore early on in the season. He's only had, this is only his 4th or 5th start over 2.5, and obviously he was no match for Madgeborough. Touch Me Not's obviously running poorly, but I just think this horse wants this sort of trip. He's a tentative vote. I didn't realise he was going to be 4-1, to be honest, though, because I gave you my fancies before I realised what price he was. Nürburgring, I agree with Johnny. He's going to struggle around here today. Might struggle in the Galway Plate, though.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
During the summertime. And I'd actually fancy him for that. One at a massive price. And I'd probably be proved completely wrong. There's another one of Gordon's there, is the Capo. Didn't stay over 3-1 the last day. Remember that beginner's chase? It was a smart beginner's chase. He won at Leopardstown. He's very quirky, but he's got plenty of ability.
Yeah, tell me this, was that going well yesterday, Kealy de Bourbon? Somebody told me he was going okay.
He looked like he was going okay, yeah, he looked like he was going okay.
Capo's farm tied in with him, so that's probably not bad horses, right, the Capo?
No, he's quirky. Remember, he should have won a graded race. Jack rode him, was it a grade 2 or a grade 3 in Navan last year? And he half went to run out, halfway down the back. He hung like a gate, didn't he, that day? Yeah. He hung like a 6-bar gate that day, and I thought he was going to end up pulling up. And What's Up Darling just beat him in the end.
It was a Gigginstown horse.
It was a Gigginstown horse, Sam Ewan, and he flew home. He's loads of ability. He's a massive price. He's a tentative each way vote.
Excellent. There you go. D Capo at a huge price for Kevin. And finally, Daryl, you're a Springwell Bay fan?
I am a Springwell Bay. I was in John Joe Neal's yesterday, and obviously this horse was entered up in a few different races, wasn't he, for the week? And I was speaking to John Joe Neal Jr. and he was really excited. One of his better rides of the week, and they thought this was the obvious race to come. I think you want to be up there with the top end horses, the graded type of horse like Firefox. Chadwell Potter is obviously disappointed, but as a Grade 1 winner, and I just think this his form. He was second to Django Boy 2 runs ago. He was placed over 3 miles. I think coming back to this sort of trip, he's been around Cheltenham his last 4 runs. he's been around there, and I just think the course form, the company he's racing against, you know, John Joe, they're brilliant at placing horses, especially for the Cheltenham Festival, and you know, they really fancy this horse, and they were very, very confident about him yesterday, so I'm going to give him the vote.
Okay, excellent. Springwell Bay for Daryl.
What did Springwell Bay go up for winning the last day? Remember he won in Cheltenham?
Yeah.
Like, he would have been a stone wall in this.
He went up 9.
If he didn't get that £9 penalty, he couldn't have last year, could he? Like,
He's a good horse, though. He's like...
he is. Oh, he's a great
like,
chance,
well, look,
yeah.
whether he's a genuine
He's not far off a graded horse
yeah.
at the same time. Yeah,
But
a grade
he's-
1 horse, I should say.
I just think it's, to me, you just, in a real competitive races like this, if you can try and get your grade 1 form, grade 2 form, I think it's massive.
And
Because they can travel, you know what I mean? And you need to,
Yeah.
in this race here, these competitive races, you have to travel. If you don't travel, you're at nothing.
That's the one thing my horse doesn't have here is anything like graded. For there are graded horses in this, like grade, definitely 1.5 horses, like the likes of Firefox and Springwell Bay, yeah, for sure. But maybe the likes of Peacock mightn't be good enough to stay with him, even getting a load of weight. You wouldn't know.
Okay, and it's time for one final passionate plea from me. This is the last time, I promise now, this is the last time I will mention Caldwell Potter, okay? Because I've been doing preview nights where I actually get... Look at this. I've been doing preview nights where I actually got booed when I mentioned Caldwell Potter. He is the most unpopular horse in training. Obviously, he cost a fortune, but people wanted him to be a Gold Cup horse. I thought he would be a Gold Cup. He's not. He's running off 146 in the handicap. It's not the Gold Cup. I think he's well handicapped, and they put a lot of water in the new course. I think he's going to run a cracker. I'm telling you, Caldwell Potter is going to run really well. But I'm actually embarrassed to almost tip him now, Caldwell
Until
Potter.
he gets to the second last, going to the last.
Oh, is that what's going to happen? There we go.
That's a pattern so far.
That has been a pattern.
He
Caldwell
doesn't
Potter.
know what he costs.
But Caldwell Potter's jockey, Harry Cobden, he's been doing a bit of work with Paddy Power, and let's see how he's been getting on.
Harry Cobden, one of the best jockeys in the game, but it's all a bit boring, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We want to bring the Paddy Power darts crack to racing.
Look at him, mad, brilliant.
Racing
Boring,
looks like an IT department.
negative aura. You need some of this. Oh, look at that. Aura dripping off him.
He's not doing anything.
Oh yeah, isn't he? Watch this.
Unbelievable. You should do that when you ride a winner in Cheltenham. Go on, give it a go. Come on.
Probably won't be this year.
Probably not.
Yeah, next year.
Look, Harry, you need a gimmick.
A nickname and a backstory like this man.
I used to be an electrician and they called me Voltage.
Exactly. Luke the Nuke Littler. I don't know why that is, but just...
No, but you're a farmer as well, so...
They call you the ploughman,
Sounds like a sandwich.
It is, yeah.
the haymaker.
Harvest hero?
The Crop King.
Can I not just be a jockey who wins races?
Yeah, I agree actually. Just before, no fuss.
Boring.
You're supposed to be on our side, Judas.
We start fancy dressed at Cheltenham. You two are going to lead it. Just pretend like the alien's grabbing you a bit, like, ooh, like you're trying to run away from it or something. No, not.
Harry, you jump a fence well. What do you do?
Just carry on riding, the job's not done.
Incorrect.
No, you psych out the other jockeys with a pretend headbutt.
Create a bit of drama.
Come.
Pathetic. Show 'em how it's done.
Boom!
Here we go.
Boom.
It's crap. Nah.
Well, what about a bit of facial hair?
Jockeys don't have beards.
Why not?
Dunno.
Do you want to try the alien thing again?
No.
It's a racing makeover for Harry Cobden. Let's hope it's a racing makeover for Caldwell Potter too in the 2 o'clock at Cheltenham today. Moving swiftly on to the Pertemps final, and D-Art is now your 11-2 favourite. I wonder who instigated that gamble. Let's find out in a couple of minutes. Win some, lose some is 13-2. Jericho the Repine on the slide out 13-2. Feet of a Dancer is next in the market. Then you're taking in Will the Wise and Carl the 2Ls. Paul Kealy, D-Art. I've been staying in the house with you all week and I'm D-Arted. I have never seen you so confident about a horse.
This is the one that hopefully just wins, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I went through the Pertemps a couple of weeks ago and I just thought he absolutely stood out. First of all, because he's with Tom Cooper, who just doesn't run rubbish at this meeting. He had a third of the bumper yesterday at 66 to 1. That makes it 6 top 4 placings out of just 11 runners since 2009. They invariably run well. He actually ran him in the bumper a couple of seasons ago. He didn't run well, but the fact he thought he was good enough to run in the bumper last year. The year before last, sorry. Quiet first season over hurdles, but he's taken off this year. He won 3 starts ago, and then he finished third at can't remember. Navan. It was Navan, yeah. It was Navan, and that was a really good race. Safari was second, won a big handicap chase afterwards, and the fourth followed home. Will the Wise, I think it was, in another qualifier last month. And then he did everything but win at Carlisle when he probably hit the front too soon. It was 3 while 1 furlong in very deep ground, and he just got collared late on. But he was still 3 lengths ahead. Still 3 and a bit lengths ahead of Gwenny May Boy. He was gone up 12 pounds since for winning a Grade 2. I think he wants better ground. He packs a finish. He's got a little bit of change of gear for a 3 miler. This has obviously been the plan all year long. He's got a good £5 claimer on as well. I just can't see him not being involved.
He's won a race this season, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big negative. Because I think 18 of the last 20 winners of the Pertemps final have not won a race of any sort in the same season leading up to the race.
How many Cheltenham hurdle winners had won the what's it until then?
That's a very good fight back, Paul.
Like, you know what I mean? These things happen and things change, and I don't care whether he's won or not. He probably needed to win because he was quite lowly rated at the start of the season anyway. So
this is one of your bets of the week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Follow that, Johnny Dineen.
I don't have a huge opinion in this at all, but is this not a win in your in race? So that might alter the stat, no?
Yeah, could, yeah.
Winning in from this year, isn't it? So maybe I don't even look. It's a hard race. I always think it's a brutal contest anyway. I genuinely couldn't have a bet in this. But if you force me, I'd go Carl. The only thing I think that has a little chance. Carl the Tourelle, but it's not great price, is it? 10 to 1. And I think Jericho the Ripone won't win.
Won't win. Tell us why.
I just think it doesn't have the profile of this kind of a race at all. I think you need a kind of a war horse for a race like this. And I think Jericho the Ripone is far from one of those anyway. And I'd be surprised if he won.
Who's your war horse, Kevin?
Win some, lose some. For a war horse of a trainer, Paddy Roach. Yeah, I think there's more to come from this horse. He got a fair hike now. What did he win off? 125 in Leopardstown. He's running off an English mark of 138. But I think this horse, there's still more to come from. He races behind the bridle as well. Like he's always, to me, he looks like he's saving a bit. Yeah. He stays well. I thought he won. What did he win? Did he win a half a length, 3 parts of a length in Leopardstown the last day?
Oh, more when we saw him.
Oh, did he win more, did he?
No, I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he won.
I don't think it was a big winning distance. But
no, 3 parts of a length, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Mark Walsh at his finest.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I thought there was loads left that day. He stays well. He's won 4 from 9, hasn't he, over hurdles? I think there's plenty more to come from. Again, as Johnny said, like, it's a wide open contest. One that I'd be very worried about is Will the Wise, for the simple reason is that was a grueler that day at the end of February. That was the day they abandoned the 2 chases in Naas, and you've got Pater Merchant, you got Lucky Lyrene. I think there's another one along with Will the Wise, who I think is still well handicapped, but those horses at grueler and bottomless ground that day, that would be a big concern for me, those horses out of that Naas run. But I'm going to stick with Pádraig Roach's horse, and I'd love to see Pádraig Roach train his second Cheltenham Festival
and what
winner.
People might know, Kevin, he's one of your mates, Paddy. Good mate of yours, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good mate, yeah, Paddy.
Yeah, he sticks with his mates.
Yeah.
He always sticks with
no,
his
but
team,
you be getting the real. You be getting the real stuff from Paddy. Like, he wouldn't be filling you with nonsense, like.
And by the way, now Paddy wouldn't tell you much now, as you well know.
Yeah.
But no, Pádraig Roach is a very, very good trainer, and people don't realise what a good trainer Pádraig Roach is. What do you think of Pádraig Roach's trainer?
Decent, yeah, very good, yeah.
He doesn't say a whole pile, and he keeps himself to himself. But he's a good lad, and he's a very good trainer, and he's fancying this.
You're getting
horse.
the right vibes.
I'm getting the right vibes, yeah.
There we go.
But he's a good lad, and I think I'd love to see this horse win for Pádraig Roach.
Right, Daryl, Pertemps final, you're up.
Well, I'm delighted that you fancy your horse, because I finished just behind you on Feet of a Dancer, Paul Nolan's. I would like to see Paul Nolan's horses in slightly better form than what they're in, but this lad's first step up to 3 miles, I thought he was ridden that way just to sneak on into the race, and I think he could be a huge player here today. I think the track will suit him. Just my slight worry would be with some of the former Paul Nolan's horses. I'm going to give you one right down at a big price is Harbour Lake of Alan King's Tom Cannon's. I done a preview with him, and he gave this a good shout. The drying ground around this track. He thought this horse could run a real decent race. So
okay, there you go. Harbour Lake at a big price for Daryl could go well. He's with Feet of a Dancer. Kevin is with Win Some Lose Some. Johnny, I think your selection was just about Carl de Tourelle.
Yeah, Carl de Tourelle. Yeah, very tentative now, to be honest.
And the best case in the Pertemps final was made by Mr. Paul Kealy, who is seriously keen on D-Art. D-Art. I'm with Kevin. You've convinced me, Kevin. I think Win Some Lose Some is potentially the one to beat here in the Pertemps final. Moving on to the first grade one of the day. It is the 320. It is the Ryanair Chase, and it's 13-8. Fact to file. The big mover has been Ile France from 3s into 9-4 this morning. Protectorat, last year's winner, 6-1. Jello has been nibbled at each way into 10-1. Envoyalen, previous winner of the race, 11-1. 14-1 Jungle Boogie. Heartwood is 18-1, and it's 20-1 Master Chewy. Right, Johnny Dineen, 13-8. Fact to file. Play or lay?
Yeah, I think I'd go with him. Yeah, I think he's the one to beat without a doubt. I think he sets a clear form standard anyway. His form is the likes of the form with the likes of Spillans Tower and Gallop and Deschamps and fast and slow. I think that's a good bit superior to well, okay, Ile France. I don't fancy that at all for starters, Ile France, but he has like almost won the King George, so you can't really say that he isn't a top class horse. But I do think the likes of Protectorate and Jello is a grade below the likes of Fact to File for sure. And Protectorate, Jello, Envoyalen is probably shoving on a bit, and then you're into Jungle Boogie, Heartwood. I couldn't see any of them winning in here, but I think Fact to File is fair at 13-8. I think if he does his business, he'll win here.
2 questions. Have you backed them yet? And will you be getting stuck in?
I have something on him anti-post. It's about the only decent anti-post bet I had coming here. In relation to the price, I'm on it about 6-1, and he's only 13-8, so it'll save me backing him today.
Okay.
But if I wasn't on him anti-post, I would back him today, to be honest.
Okay, you're on anti-post, and I think you're on anti-post.
6-1.
Yeah. You're on bigger?
16s.
When did you do that? 2003?
5 minutes before the travels. I just decided he's not going to stay. I just decided he's not going to stay.
At the folding sales, yeah.
Couldn't get much on, to be honest, but yeah, no, back to him. I don't fancy him, no. I don't fancy him, right. I don't think his form is any better than some of the others. And I think the handicappers agree, because there were 4 horses rated in there. They've all got an official rating of 166, and one of them's 13-8, one of them's 9-4, one of them's 6s, and one of them's 10s. So look, the form of Spillans Tower, it was first time out. I mean, Spillans Tower got lapped in the King George afterwards. I don't care about beating Galloping Deschamps first time out. And John Durkin's not ready. Right, he got thumped by him at Leopardstown. He couldn't hold off Grange Clare West at Leopardstown, and he was no further ahead of Monty Star than he was in the Brown Advisory last year. I don't think there's any evidence that he's a better horse now than he was last year, and I just thought he beat a bunch of average chasers last year. So I think he's priced up on reputation more than anything else. Ile France, he's the one that could blow them out of the water or blow out completely, isn't he? I mean, he's a bleeder in France. He's won 2 blinding races at Kempton, never been on a track like this. But doesn't finish races in France because he has his problems. And the same yard stencil blew his top on the way at the start and in the race in the Fred Winter on the first day, so that's a negative too. Protectorat's probably the one to beat if the ground isn't too quick for him, because I think he wants soft ground. So I've ended up going with Jello, just because he's one of the youngest in the race. He's fast improving. He absolutely hacked up last time. And he comes in on the crest of a wave, so why not at a big price, bet him each way? And I do think Envoyalen will run well. He'll certainly be going down to the second last, looking like he's got a right chance, won't he?
Okay, but your selection is Jello.
Selection's Jello, yeah.
Jello at 10-1 for Paul Kealy in the Ryanair. Daryl.
Well, you've thrown me, because I was a huge Fact to File fan. So now I'm all confused. But that doesn't take much now.
I just gone to the title for this one, yeah, because I can't follow Paul Kealy. Yeah.
I think the makeup of this race, and that's what, whenever I look down through it, I look of the potential pace, the makeup of the race. And I think the makeup of this race is going to really suit Fact to File, because you're going to have Ile France who's going to go out, he's going to go hard. Protectorat, his best performance is when he's allowed to front run and attack every single fence. He's a very, very good and very, very fast jumper. They're not going to be hanging around with him. You got Heartwood, you've got Jungle Boogie will go forward as well. And I think with Factor File, his best races is when he can sit in off a fast pace, and we know there's going to be a fast pace here, and Mark can afford to ride that nice, confident race on him and slowly bring him into the race. Now, look at Ile Francis has got the class if he can handle the undulations of Cheltenham and he doesn't bleed. For sure, he's a major player, but you're taking. They've reported he's bled 3 out of 6 or whatever, but you don't know whether he's bled the other 3 times. Small inside. We haven't heard about that. So, back in Ile Francais comes to me with a, there is a warning there, and I just think Factor File, the makeup of the race.
Where will Mark sit in the race? Do you think
he just sit behind the leader? He'll ride a nice, confident race like what he does. Sit in 5th, 6th, 4th, 5th, get his horse nice and settled. He done it at Leopardstown the last time, didn't he? He dropped him further off Galloping Shams to make sure he gave him every opportunity to stay the trip at Leopardstown, and he didn't stay the trip the last time. But he done everything right on him, and I think what he'll do is this race will play to his strength because he's a good traveller. Touch wood, he's a good jumper, he's a fast jumper. A stiff stay in 2.5. I think it's really going to suit him. No?
Yeah. 2-1 to Factor File at the moment, Kevin. You've the casting vote there.
I was strong on Factor File to listen to Paul Kealy, and I'm gone very watery because, and I'll tell you why, when you think about it, Paul is actually 100% right in what he said.
He's having a good week as well.
And he's having a good week. He's big and strong this week, so he's always big and strong. So he's always having a good week.
Always big.
Factor File, Grange Clare West was too close to him, is right. Now, he didn't stay. I know he won the Brown Advisory last year, but it wasn't the strongest of races. I've been saying a long time that this is his trip. Couldn't have him at Leopardstown at Christmas time. I couldn't have him at Leopardstown in the Irish Gold Cup. And the last stage, you said, he settled beautifully, had every chance to get the trip. He walked from the back of the last to the line. Grange Clare West then, over a trip short of his best, is absolutely blown out in the Webster Cup, isn't he? And Navan in his next start as well. Ile Francais, he's obviously very, very good, but you'd struggle to back him, as I think round here he got away flat track round Kempton. Round here he turns into the jump. He's going up that hill.
I think he
worried, very worried, very worried.
He has no chance. No. I fancy him, Johnny.
I think he'll either win by 10 lengths, really, really impressive, or he'll be out the back of the screen.
Is there
it'll be one or the other. It's very hard.
Could he do an Allaho?
No. He won't.
Just no.
He won't. I think my reading of this race is that he will not be given the leeway he was given in Kempton.
Because they won't allow him to, because they'll have that in the back of their mind. They're not right. This is a very good horse. It's not a 50-1 shot. He's a very, very good horse that just got beaten in a King George. So we're not going to let him have a freebie, because we can't, will they?
But they didn't let Allaho have a freebie, but they just couldn't go with him. They couldn't sustain that gallop.
You've got better horses that travel better. Like Protectora is a serious traveller. I mean, Jungle Boogies. Jungle Boogie looked like as if he was going to play a series hand in the Gold Cup last year, coming down to the second or third last. He looked like as if he was nearly going to win, didn't stay. They're fast horses. Jungle Boogie made the running at Ascot before Christmas. I rode in the race. I admit I'd probably give him a terrible ride, James de Burley, but he's a fast horse. They can lie up at him. These are 2.5 milers. They can lie up at a 3 miler on the back track. I don't see him.
All right. Okay, he won't win.
Harry Skelton is not going to let James Reevely get a freebie in front.
No.
And Mark Walsh is definitely not going to let. He's going to sit and protect the crat. Protect the crat is going to follow. Protect the rat. Sorry, it's been a long week, right? He's going to follow, and Mark Walsh is not going to let either of those two. You're not going to give those two, because he knows they're obviously very, very good horses. Protect the Crat won it last year. He was third in the Gold Cup a couple of seasons ago. I think he will set it up for Factor File. I'm going against you. Factor File will win the Ryanair.
I'll be happy with that.
Every jockey
16-1. Andy Post is a forward.
But I wouldn't touch him as a price at the price Factor File, and it sounds like.
I think this is his ideal trip.
It might be.
Go on, Johnny.
My reading of it is every jockey in this race will know they can't give the favourite too much rope.
Yeah, but it's one thing knowing it, and it's another thing doing it.
Yeah, but they will be able to lie up with them.
Do you think so?
They will be definitely 2 or 3 lengths, and also every other jockey will know that the minute you breathe in him, he'll fall like a 5 pound stone.
He got a proper freebie. He got a proper freebie at Kempton.
Completely.
All right. Jesus. Wish I said nothing.
Come on, man.
There you go. There's your Ryanair. Take mine down there, will you? Just get rid of it. It's not Factor File. Paul Kealy's with Jello, and the rest of the lads are with Factor File in the Ryanair chase. Yeah, get rid of it. take it down. I told you, take it down. It's gone. Factify or Ile Francais won't be winning the Ryanair Chase. Moving on to the big one on Thursday. It is the Paddy Power Stairs Hurdle. And Teahupoo is 6-4. Slightly uneasy in the market this week, Teahupoo. The Wall Park is 4-1. 9-2 lucky place. It is on the drift ever so slightly. Home by the Lee at 6-1. Then Bob Ollinger now 11-1. Bob Ollinger, a massive mover this morning, has been Bob, unbeaten at Cheltenham, of course, 3 from 3. Mystical Power is next in the market, and it's 20-1 bar. Johnny, lovely piece in the paper today. You spoke about Teahupoo saying on the preview night circuit, he was the one of the shorties, and there's been a lot beaten already this week. He was the one short price favourite that no pundit could really have on the preview night circuit.
Yeah, look, he's going to be, he's heading for a goodish price at the same time. You know, if you do fancy him, you're getting good odds. Like the prices of some of these horses is amazing. I mean, the Wall Park looks very short to me at 4-1. Like I think that it has a chance, but that's all. And the same, but look, he plays 9-2. That looks tight to me. I think the Home by the Lee is probably the biggest danger to the favourite. But look, I'd like the Wall Park to me at 4-1 is an amazingly short price. Like considering. Like on what grounds is he even 4-1? I mean, he was 4 to 5 in the long walk. Crambo is any price you like in this, you know. And Hidden Valley Lake isn't even considered worth running in it, and yet this guy is second favourite. They were thinking of running with the Pertemps, like with top weight. So look, he plays, has to prove it gets the trip. I think Home by the Lee is a great chance here. I do. I think nice ground will suit it. And okay, you say, he's 10 years of age and he's blinkers and he's been beaten here 3 or 4 times already, but he's just. I don't know, there's something, it might just be his year. This is his last chance for sure anyway.
Yeah, 4th time in the race. He seems sweeter this year, and new work rider at home. Yeah. It just seems to be a different Home by the Lee.
Bob Ollinger's no chance of getting home. Surely that can't stay 3 miles around here. Like, you know,
I'm afraid to say Anton now, but I thought he had a chance.
It's never stayed 3 miles in his life anywhere. So, look, I go with Home by the Lee. I'd be pretty sure that if it gives each way, that'll definitely be in the first 3.
Okay, Home by the Lee. Daryl?
I'm a fan of Home by the Lee. Look, he's a 10-year-old. I think I was down at Joseph at the start of the year and with JJ, and we were chatting about this horse. We came up in conversation and they've changed a few things. I thought last year, like, I don't want to say it, but he looked a very, very difficult ride for his jockeys last year. He never travelled, he never wanted to go forward, he never wanted to do. Joseph O'Brien said that he's changed a few things around him this year. He's travelling so much sweeter during his races now. And the thing about this race is, I know it's a stayers hurdle, it's called a stayers hurdle, but actually, when you actually look down through it, there's actually not much pace in the race. So this race could to turn into a little bit of a sprint for a little bit of time.
Lovely. That'll suit Bob.
Home by the Lee has won already this year off a slow run pace. So look to me, he was beaten six lengths last year by Teahupoo. I think he'll obviously prefer a lot softer ground. All of his best form is on soft heavy. And I just think I think he's worth one more go at this. And I think he's on prices. I'd be definitely with him rather than the favourite, the second favourite, the fourth favourite, because I still think that they have a few questions to answer. Whereas I think Home by the Lee with JJ Slevin, double green man, home and hose.
Lovely.
Good looking hangs.
There we go. 2 votes for Home by the Lee. Keels?
Yeah, the pace angle is clear here, isn't it? Because there isn't much of it. It'd be absolutely sod's law if Teahupoo was the one horse that won, given everybody wanted to oppose him, but they were falling over themselves, and that Madgeborough and Ballyburn, etc. I got all these previews. But, I mean, he did have all the stars aligned from him last year, didn't he? Like, you know, it was bottomless ground. He had 11 rivals, 9 of which were 9 years old or older. Like, you know what I mean? It was a bad race. Like, you know, he did win it well. He's got easily the best form. There's no doubt about that. But he's going on much faster ground today, and he's got 8 horses that are younger than 9 this year. So we've got some new up-and-comers coming in. I can see the case for the Wall Park. I think he wants to go left-handed anyway. I wouldn't say he was at his best at Ascot. And we'd seen him roar up, and the Time Boys were very keen on the way he finished when he won the Pertemps qualifier. So I wouldn't rule him out. I don't like the price now at 4-1. I back Lucky Place, and I think he'd be in the right place because he'll be ridden fairly prominently. And if he stays, and I think he shapes as though he's going to stay, you know, and he's just a horse that has improved on Racing Post ratings every single time he's hit the racecourse. You know, and the last 2 have been fairly big improvements as well. Still needs to do it again, but he's the one I like most. He is the one I like most in the field. He's a young horse who's on the up.
Lucky place at 9-2 for Paul Kealy. No love on the couches so far for Tupu. Are you going to change that, Kevin?
Look, I'd obviously love to see him win, but
no, you're not tipping him.
Who will ride him if Jack gets stood down?
Danny, I'd say. Danny
Gilligan,
yeah.
What's happened, young the other young fella?
Sam Ewing.
Sam Ewing, fracture.
At this meeting?
You didn't help it, I'd say.
Don't ask hard. Just answer the question. Don't ask. Kevin is hot around the collar.
He was literally trying. How do I answer this one?
I thought at the meeting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no. He was a bit sore. He was a bit sore coming, but no, he won't be riding.
Anyway, the word we're looking for anyway.
No, Sammy won't be riding for, I'd say, 3 weeks. So he won't. So, but look, T-Hooper, I don't know. I'm like everybody else. It worked last year. 2 runs, came here and won. Probably a shade maybe unlucky not to win 3, but maybe the Galmai bottomed him that year. I don't know. The year he got beat, other people have a different opinion. The Wall Park, I think there's more to come from him. I think home by the Lees in each way bet to nothing to finish in the 3. I agree with the lads, he's as sweet as a nut this year, a lot sweeter than he's ever been. 6 lengths to make up with him last year. Home by the Lead, 6-1s in each way bet to nothing to finish in the 3, and the Wall Park as well. I didn't think he'd be actually 4-1 now, but I think there's more to come from it. The ground drying out will suit him too. He was winning during the summer and the autumn.
Yeah, but what about the lack of pace though?
That's a worry.
Yeah,
that is a worry.
Sharp price to meet for. Now, I wouldn't say he couldn't win, but she's like, I'd have been more thinking he could be double that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm a bit like himself now in the last race. I want to change the round to home by the Lee instead of the Wall Park. He caught me in the hop this morning.
That's all right.
But
we can change it. You want home by the Lee?
Home by the Lee. We'll go.
Right, production team. You're on your toes. Go for it.
6-1. He's an each way bet to nothing. He's 6 lengths to make up on the horse last year, but he is very, very sweet this year. He's travelling a lot better in his race. How about Rocky's Diamond?
Look, I don't know. It's not that long ago he would have made an order 80-1 in Limerick. Do you know what I mean? Suddenly he's
I know, he was well fancy that day. He was 80-1 around a half an hour before he won the made.
I don't know. It's a huge, meteoric rise, isn't it? Like for such a short space of time. Look, he ran well and going, considering he won, because he ran away with the jockey in the middle of the race.
Exactly. He was just the 12 Apostles wouldn't hold, wouldn't they?
No, they wouldn't. No,
he was nearly back over.
Yeah.
I was watching this. This horse can't when he's gone so quick.
I actually laid Hidden Valley Lake in that race, and I laid Rocky's Diamond and running it around 4 months. It's just 1,000,000 anyway. It's after running loose in the middle of the race. He stayed going. Now, even that farm is mile off this, isn't it? Like, it's a bit of a chance. I mean, it wouldn't fall down to anything when this race.
Like Franciscan Rock was third. The second horse, the Devil's Coachman. I know he won. He won a conditions race.
All right. We have to move on. We have to move on.
A quick one in it, though.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
Neon Lion at a master price. Kerry Lee, the horse.
Nemean Lion,
yeah. If he stays, and like you say, with the race being run, potentially it's always what we think it is. This horse, you know, if he stays, he'd have a chance at a huge
Nemean Line.
Yeah, Nemean Line, yeah.
I didn't know that is a chance, actually.
Yeah, really? Didn't know he was in the race, and now he's a chance.
I didn't know he was running.
Johnny's going to have a few quid in there.
Right, come on. Look what time it is. It's 26 minutes past 9.
Daryl Jacobs on commission now. If he wins this, he gets a few quid.
20%.
I was thinking of commission now.
440 is the Trusted Trader Plate Handicap Chase. Jaguar goes here instead of the Jack Richards. He's 3-1 favourite. The Company Sergeant has been a big mover into 6-1. Mazzaccio was 7-1, 8-1 Jordans, and 12-1 Bar. We have to be quick, guys, because we've only got about 4 or 5 minutes left. What wins the play, Kevin?
Jordans. I've been tipping him up at every preview for the Novice Handicap Chase. So he runs 2 entries. I've gone for the wrong race.
And you're related.
I know. So
what chance do the rest of us have?
Waste the time. Exactly. Jordans. I think he's well handicapped.
Okay, Jordans. Forget that was lovely and quick. Lovely, Daryl.
Yeah. Ginny's Destiny, I'd love to see him come back to absolutely shocking form so far this year, come back to his best, and I think in this race he could run really well. Likes the track, likes the ground. I'm hoping Paul Nicholls, this horse could run well for Paul.
Ginny's Destiny.
That was very quick for DJ now.
It was.
Yeah.
Is he you're DJ as well, yeah?
It's only because I haven't looked at the rest of the race.
That's all right. That's all right. So Ginny's Destiny going to be Paul Nicholls' second winner of the day after Caldwell Potter. What do you like here?
I backed 2. I thought the Company Sergeant was very obvious for Gavin Cromwell. Had a prep over hurdles for his first run for that yard. Had some interesting graded chase form before for another yard. And the top weight conflated. Just think he's very interesting. The last 2 times he ran over 2.5 miles, he was third in the Ryanair. He'd also been second in the Ryanair a few years ago if he hadn't fallen. And last April he was beaten a length and a bit by John Bont off levels. He gets in here with Rob James taking him down to 150. He's run like a crab all season. But if he comes back here and bounces back to the sort of form he has shown at Cheltenham, he's got a right chance.
16-1 now, conflated. Johnny?
Is he running here, Masaccio?
Yeah,
I give Masaccio a chance. Good chance.
Masaccio.
I like novices in this race, and I think his form is decent, and I think he's a great chance. That's all.
Absolutely. Okay, that's Masaccio. I agree, Johnny. I think Masaccio's got a cracking chance here for Alan King and Tom Cannon. That is the plate. And if you were with us yesterday, you would have seen us promoting Paddy Power's Eliminator competition. And there was 917 winners yesterday of Paddy Power's Eliminator competition. They all won €272, just over that, for nothing, for free. So here's a look at Paddy Power's Eliminator competition.
Introducing Eliminator, Paddy Power's new free-to-play game. Select your horses and survive 6 exhilarating rounds to win up to £250,000. That can't be right. £250,000? Play Eliminator free every day this Cheltenham Festival. Only on Paddy Power.
And it's free. It's free. You don't have to spend anything, and you could win a fortune. That is Paddy Power's Eliminator competition. So have a look at that and play today. Why not? It's free. The final race on Thursday is the Kim Muir and Walking on Air. Yes, that's not a misprint. 130 now, Walking on Air. Midnight Hour Fred is 9-2. Johnny Who is on the drift out 13-2. Sam Majestic 8-1. Mint Boy 12-1. As is Gitmaker and 9 Graces. Yeah, man, it's 14-1. It's 16-1 bar. I don't think this is your kind of race, Johnny, is it?
No, not normally. I'd give Yeah Man a chance. I thought it was running away in Haydock. I think they'd have won that race by half the track when it fell. That was a long way out, but it was really going really well. It's top weight too, which is a negative. Can't get over the price of some of the horses. Midnight or Fred 92. Couldn't believe that's 92 shot. It has a chance, like, but again, it's an 8-1 chance.
What about this big gamble, Walking on Air?
It has a chance of coming in the back of a fall. It wouldn't appeal to me to anything like that price anyway. Like, to me, this is a 6 or 7 to 1 the field race. And I could see a lot of horses have the chance, obviously. But if you force me, I go Yeah Man.
Yeah Man. Kills.
Yeah, I have back Walking on Air, but I wouldn't back him at that price now. I mean,
a great story, of course, for people that don't know. Alan O'Sullivan, brother of Michael. What a story would be. We saw the 2 winners winning yesterday, but if Alan were to win this race on Walking on Air, it would just be absolutely magic.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, yeah.
Good for you as well.
Doubt. And he's got a chance. He's well handicapped on old form, obviously. He was a borderline 140 horse for Nicky Anderson, wasn't he? And he's gone up 4 for what we may well have won the Yorkshire Chase last time. But 130 short enough, isn't it? Like, you know. So the other one I backed is Mint Boy. I mean, Gavin Cromwell, all those horse run well in this. Stumptown just got chinned a couple of years ago, 5-2 favourite. And then I know the way you're thinking, ran away with it last year, didn't he? And Mint Boy, he's not as obviously well handicapped as I know the way you're thinking, but he has a similar profile, having shown his best form over 3 mile over hurdles and not run over 3 mile over fences yet. He actually showed next to nothing in a couple of starts, but he was back with a fairly good one against High Class Hero last year. I think he's a fairly decent horse. And it just set him up for this. He's got a reasonable mark on that bit of form, I think, and he'll run well.
Mint Boy, Daryl.
I'm going to go for Johnny Who, first time in a handicap. He needs to cut out some of his jumping errors, going around.
You were in John Joe's. How is he?
Well, I didn't see him yesterday, but I mean, yeah, I mean, look at it. I just think he had a nice little time around Windsor and on his last time. I think they've planned, they've targeted a race here at the festival. I thought he had a lovely run around Windsor the last time. Cut out the jumping mistakes. I did actually I did ride Walking on Air for Nicky Henderson a few years ago at the Cheltenham Festival in a real competitive handicap over there, and I promise you I thought I was going to win a minute, and I absolutely galloped straight through the second last, and that was the end of my race.
I backed him.
He's a beautiful.
He's cursing you.
Well, look at him.
Stride wasn't there, Daryl.
No, I just closed my eyes just for 1, 2 and hope for the best. It just didn't work out, but you're looking. But he's a gorgeous horse walking in the air, and he's definitely a very, very well handicapped horse. I mean, you look at him going around the parade ring. He is a beautiful, beautiful model of a horse.
Okay, there we go. But Daryl is with Johnny Who, as am I. Kevin, you have the final say today.
I just can't believe the 3 of us clowns are going to agree with each other. I'm a bit in Johnny Who's camp as well.
And do you know what he calls him? Johnny Poo.
I don't know. I agree though. His jumping is actually his heel. If he jumps properly, he's a great chance.
He's Derek O'Connor on board him as well.
Yeah. I think he wants a
advantage.
flat track.
Do you?
Yeah, I was disappointed with the way he saw the race out in the Albert Bartlett last year, and he ran a lot better at Aintree afterwards.
He was slightly regressive over hurdles. That's the one negative I'd have for him. He didn't get better as the season went on. Maybe got worse.
Yeah, but they've got one race and one race
I know.
only.
Yeah.
They've been thinking about this for 2 years. They have. This
Probably,
race.
yeah.
Johnny Who for me, 9 graces, that'll run well as well.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's Barry Connell's, isn't it? Yeah.
3 votes for Johnny Who. Keels is with Mint Boy. And Johnny, your selection was?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, in the Kimure, the final race on Thursday. We got there, but all we've got to do now is reveal the all-important charity bets, which have been going incredibly well, thanks to... Well, I the winner the first day, Hayley Clers. You the winner yesterday with Jimmy Desai. So, lovely money, all going to charity. Johnny Dineen, the best bet on Thursday is... Can you remember what your nap was?
No.
Oh, Lord,
Home by the
lantern
League, sorry.
cheese.
Home by the League.
It's a professional show. Home by the League.
Lowering the tone a small bit, yeah.
Home by the League is Johnny Dineen's charity.
I thought he was going to say Neon Line there for a minute.
I think we can guess what yours is. Does it begin with a D and is there an art in the middle?
Yeah, there is. The art.
The art for Keels. Daryl?
I'm going to stay with JJ, Home by the Lee.
Home by the Lee. Kevin?
6.5 for me in the first.
6.5 for me, and I'm actually afraid to reveal mine, so I won't say anything, and you can see it on the screen there. The art for Keels, Home by the Lee for Johnny, 6.5 for Kevin, and Daryl. Look at that, what a production team. Daryl is in there with Home by the Lee at 6-1 as well. We won't talk about mine. We will just move on and say that is it for day 3 of Good Morning Cheltenham. My thanks to Johnny Dineen, to Paul Kealy, to Daryl Jacob, and to Kevin O'Ryan. It's been great crack. Hopefully we found a few winners along the way, and don't forget to join us tomorrow morning at 8:30 for Gold Cup Day on Good Morning Cheltenham. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day and hopefully you get a few winners.